Welcome back to this here on Rise News. Now, Africa's creative industry presents immense growth potential driven by a growing youth population, increasing urbanization, and a rising middle class with changing consumption patterns. However, the sector faces significant changes and challenges including inadequate infrastructure, limited access to funding and markets, intellectual property issues, and lack of supportive policies and regulations. Now, growing cultural and creative industry is another avenue for African entrepreneurs to leverage their local knowledge, skills, and cultural diversity to create innovative services catering to the diverse needs of African consumers and businesses. Now, let's now turn to Haillie Sumney, a movie producer and actor, to share her perspective on this burning issue as well as the developments in the creative in Africa in the year 2023. I want to say thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, now let's get it started. Let's talk about creatives in Africa and the myriad of problems we face. But the truth is this, a lot of progress has been made in terms of opening doors to creatives. Case in point, Arise Fashion Week opened some of the biggest creatives to a global audience. But some say it is not enough. How much will be enough?
The point you stated is very good, and I feel like that has definitely opened a lot of doors. But regarding us doing more, first of all, we need to be able to come together and be more supportive of each other. I feel like in Africa, West Africa especially, we are lacking a lot of support of each other. And we need to, first of all, do that before we can even talk about funding and all.
Okay.
All right. From a general point of view, let's talk about specifics here now. Would you say there's more emphasis on quantity of films produced annually than quality when it comes to African movie industry? Are we stressing more on that?
That's kind of a tough one. I think we are actually doing very well in the quality of our films lately. If you compare it to a couple of years ago and now, we are definitely becoming more technology savvy and also getting the right equipment. And because of the youth and all of today, we're able to catch up with technology of today. So I think we're doing very well, actually. Quantity-wise, yes, but we're on a good track. We've improved a lot in the last couple of years.
Because to observers and critics, they would like to say, like 10 years ago, it's more about how much you churn out in terms of the movies. And when it comes to quality, you can't make comparisons to what obtains in the Western world. But like you said, to a large extent, you're trying to make moves on that. So in view of this, do you think African movies are actually laying emphasis on cultural diversity when it comes to their outcomes?
Oh, definitely we are. Even when you travel abroad, everyone around the world wants to watch African movies. They're learning more about African culture. Sorry to say, at first, they used to think we are monkeys that live on trees or we wear leaves, and now they're realizing that we're very modern and they're learning our culture a lot. And the diaspora is coming more to Africa because of this, and we're getting a lot of tourists into Africa and even investors. So I think we are on the right track. We can definitely do better, but we're on the right track.
All right.
Okay, so I know that looking at the trend, they can't seem to get enough of Africa. That's the truth.
Yes.
We look at Beyonce's direction in most of her albums. You look at things that are going on around the block in terms of streaming services coming to Nigeria. When you look at how Afrobeat is being received globally, you look at all this. This seems to be the best time to be a creative. But how can people out there maximize all this particular, right now, we have a thunder right now about us. How can we capture this thunder?
Okay, so with Ghana, we had somebody like Vice President Kamala Harris come in just a few weeks ago, and she actually had a meeting with the creatives, and they're actually looking to help fund Ghana and all. Yes, exactly. So that is one thing that is good for us. So.
But in Nigeria, we didn't get that opportunity.
I'm sure you guys have a lot of opportunities, right? And investors. I'm not from Nigeria,
I'm jealous.
so
I'm jealous.
yeah.
I'm jealous, but it's a step in the right direction.
Okay, from someone who's at least, I know that you were a registered nurse in the U.S. before you delved into acting in Africa. I was going to ask you how that happened. In that regard, if we're going to focus on you. So, how did you get motivated? You could have been doing what you did, but something changed along the way.
Okay, so I grew up in California, for those that don't know, and I had always wanted to be an actress, model, and a pediatrician. How I was going to do it all in one, I don't know. So I got into nursing. I actually went to secondary school in Ghana. So I moved back to Ghana, went to secondary school. And when I moved back to Ghana, that was my first time. My parents relocated back, and I felt like my heart was there and all. So I went back to the States to study nursing, became a nurse, did a couple of years working as a nurse, and then I just felt like I wanted to come back home. And because I had been doing modeling and a little bit of acting in the US, I now said, okay, let me relocate back to Ghana because that's where my family was. And when I got back to Ghana, I started as a entertainment TV presenter for a station called Foresight TV, which is a very popular station in Ghana. And I got my first acting break there from a Ghanaian producer. And that's how I got into acting. I was always passionate about it, and it's been going pretty well.
Okay, and from someone who's been on that part of the world, how do you think the West views our creativity when it comes to movie production here? We've seen, some movies make inroads in when it comes to, is it the Grammys or the, Haillies and what have you. So, in that perspective, yes, you already alluded to the fact that, okay, there's a dim view that we've been viewed, but in terms of creativity in this regard?
Like I said, I'm talking about today.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I don't know how they viewed us, but right now we are really on a roll. I am proud of us Africans, and I actually want to give a shout out to African musicians because they are really, really doing well of putting us on the map and giving the diaspora such an interest in Africa. So I think they are impressed with the way we are doing well and the modernization lately of us. I think we're doing a pretty good job.
All right. Okay. So let's talk about the more recent generation of Ghanaian actresses and actors. Looking at it closely, there have been talks about, probably you've been quoted once or twice saying that they need to drop the rivalry to be able to grow even stronger. Talk to us about it. What fosters this inter-rivalry between actors and actresses when, if you come together, you're stronger together?
Okay, so when I said that, I was referring more to the females.
Yes.
So I feel like in Gollywood and Nollywood, Gollywood especially, the females tend to be in competition with each other. Whereas when you look at South Africa, even the US and all, the females join together, they're able to do productions together. When one person is having a premiere, everyone comes together. But we feel like, oh, maybe this person is too proud to attend this person's premiere, or this person can't be on this production because this actress is on it. So I was just saying that as women, we preach so much women empowerment, but we need to actually practice it and come together so that we can go further.
No, but I understand where some of these ladies come from because it's a very, very hostile work environment. Every woman would have to work twice as hard to get half of what the men do get.
Well, true.
So sometimes they've had to do things on their own and without little or no support. So sometimes, as they say, it's a catch-22.
Yeah, but we should still support each other because we are doing it for Africa and there's room for every woman to shine. I want us women to know there's room for us to shine. We shouldn't see each other as enemies or competition because the males and the men, they don't see each other as such. They come together, boys, as we say. But we women always feel like there's like a wall or a competition, and there shouldn't be that. There should be more love and warmth.
Indeed. So from production, editing, scripting, and other logistics, what are the main challenges when it comes to movie production in Ghana and even in Nigeria? Yeah.
I'll say one of the main challenges would be funding. Sometimes you have such a large vision for the movie and the funding becomes a problem. Secondly, getting people together. Same thing. Sometimes when you're trying to get A-list actors together, depending on their schedule and all, it's a little bit difficult. And also depending on if you own equipment or renting equipment, the cost is very, very high. So that goes back to the funding. So those are the main challenges for me.
Well, why is the cost so high? Because most of this equipment is actually procured, or rather will be used in-house, domestically.
I guess demand, or maybe because they have been shipped from abroad and all, you know, import duties and all. So it's just expensive. I really don't know the main answer to that, but...
Okay, let's talk about rivalry and collaboration. We've spoken about rivalry within the ecosystem of Ghana and Gollywood. But let's talk about rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana. You and I know this. We squabble about everything from jollof rice to the national teams.
Right.
I'm still pained that Ghana went to the World Cup at the expense of Nigeria. Still leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. That can never go away. But, but talk to us. Are we seeing more collaborations? Is there a collaborative platform between Gollywood and Nollywood? Or do you think we need to do more to build bridges to ensure that we come together and do great films?
For the rivalry, I think it's more like a brother and sister relationship. We say we're rivals, but we really love each other. Although, of course, I love my Ghana jollof. I've tried Nigerian jollof.
No, that's the point.
Yeah.
They always say that up until when it comes to touchy issues.
No, but I think it's a friendly banter. We're not really rivals. You know, brother and sister relationship. Do we have enough collabs? No. Do we do a lot of collaborations? Definitely. And again, music, as you can see, there's a lot of collaborations. Regarding the movies, I think we paused for a bit because of the economy, cost of flights and all that. But I've seen that now we're taking up more movie roles where I'm seeing more Nigerian actors in Ghana and vice versa. So I think we're on the right path.
All right.
Hopefully the words are getting to the right quarters, as it were. Haillie, Sumney, a Canadian-born Ghanaian actress, would like to thank you
very much
for coming to Newsday. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you too.
Always a pleasure.